In the dark corners of America's heartland, where civilization gives way to untamed wilderness, lurk creatures that defy explanation. DeadNet Studios has once again received a haunting account from our longtime friend and contributor, Henry, a man whose brushes with the unexplained have left him forever changed. It was supposed to be a relaxing getaway, a small town in northeastern Missouri, known for its quaint charm and tourist attractions. Henry had no idea he was walking into a nightmare. The first warning sign came at check-in. "Gates close and lock at sundown," the clerk said, her voice tight. "No exceptions." Henry nodded, puzzled but unconcerned. On his second night, Henry struck up a conversation with the firewood delivery man. "I heard there are some great hiking trails nearby," Henry mentioned casually. The man's face went ashen. "Stay in camp," he said gruffly, then hurried away without another word. At 10 p.m., a group of young campers headed towards the trails, laughing and joking. 30 minutes later, their screams shattered the night. They burst from the tree line, faces contorted in terror, babbling about a werewolf creature lurking in the woods. The next morning, Henry watched as they argued with the gate attendant, demanding to leave early. The staff members' attempts to quiet them only made their panic more obvious. For the next few nights, an oppressive silence fell over the campground. Everyone was on edge, jumping at every snapped twig or rustling leaf. Low growls echoed from just beyond the light of the campfires. On his last night, Henry went to shower, his handgun a comforting weight at his side. As he lathered up, a sound made him pause. Sniffing. Heavy breathing. Something large was moving just outside, no more than 40 feet away in the darkness. Henry's training kicked in immediately. He quietly shut off the water and reached for his towel, drying off with swift, efficient movements. His eyes scanned the shower stall for options. A high window caught his attention, a tight squeeze but possible. As he dressed with practiced speed, he heard twigs snapping under heavy footfalls. The creature was circling the shower building. A low, guttural growl vibrated through the walls. Not quite wolf, not quite bear, but something terrifyingly in between. Henry moved silently to the window, his movements deliberate and controlled. He could hear the creature sniffing along the bottom of the shower door, its hot breath visible in the cool night air, seeping through the cracks. With careful precision, Henry eased the window open. The hinges creaked softly and he froze. The sniffing at the door stopped. For a moment, silence reigned. Then, with a sudden burst of movement, Henry hauled himself through the window. He landed softly on the balls of his feet, immediately pressing his back against the shower building's exterior wall. His hand rested on his holstered gun as he listened intently. Heavy footsteps moved around the building. Henry edged along the wall, staying in the shadows, using every bit of cover available. When he spotted a gap in the tree line, he made his move, slipping into the forest with barely a sound. He spent the rest of the night in a carefully chosen hiding spot, gun at the ready, watching the campground from a concealed vantage point. Only when the first rays of dawn broke through the trees did he return to his tent. Henry left that morning, his movements crisp and purposeful as he packed up his gear. He never returned, but over the years, he heard more stories, more sightings. The campground's dark secret was slowly coming to light. Years later, Henry found himself drawn to another hotspot of strange activity, Lowden State Park in northern Illinois. Under a statue of the legendary Chief Blackhawk, he would come face to face with the impossible. It was midnight when Henry's truck crunched down the gravel road into the park. Oak trees loomed on either side, some bizarrely shaped into giant mushrooms. The campgrounds were deserted. No tents, no campfires, just empty darkness. Henry parked near the Blackhawk statue and let his dog out to relieve itself. As the animal sniffed around, Henry's finely tuned senses prickled. Something was wrong. First came the sounds, leaves rustling where there was no wind, branches snapping under heavy weight. Then a low, rumbling growl that made Henry's dog whine and press against his leg. Henry stood perfectly still, every muscle tense. As his eyes adjusted to the gloom, he saw them. 5 massive shapes, easily 8 feet tall, surrounding them in a wide semicircle. Dogmen. Their yellow eyes gleamed in the moonlight, fixed on Henry and his trembling dog. With agonizing slowness, Henry backed towards his truck. As they approached, he saw a 6th Dogman investigating the truck bed. It turned and snarled, lips curling back to reveal gleaming fangs. Henry's hand was steady as he opened the door handle. He got his dog inside first, then himself, never taking his eyes off the creatures. As he started the engine, the Dogmen began to close in, their growls rising in volume. The headlights illuminated a nightmarish scene. Muscular, hair-covered bodies, elongated snouts filled with razor-sharp teeth, and those intelligent, hate-filled eyes. Henry floored it, tires spinning on gravel as he fled. As he reached the park entrance, something heavy slammed into his tailgate with a sickening thud. Henry didn't stop to investigate. An hour later, still alert and watchful, he pulled into a gas station. As he got out, a car pulled up behind him, and the driver called out, "Hey buddy, what happened to your truck?" Henry turned and saw a large dent in his tailgate, smeared with what looked disturbingly like blood. The couple in the car, their faces pale, shared their own tale of terror from Lowden State Park. They spoke of being chased by an 8-foot-tall werewolf creature, of returning to find their campsite destroyed. As Henry drove home that night, his mind raced. The Dogmen weren't just real, they were organized, intelligent, and territorial, and they were spreading. Henry's encounters serve as a chilling reminder that the world is far stranger and more dangerous than most people realize. If you've had an experience with the unexplained, reach out to us at deadnetstudios@gmail.com. Your story could be the missing piece in unraveling these dark mysteries. Remember, in the face of the unknown, knowledge is your best defense. Stay vigilant, stay informed, stay alive.